We know the legends by heart. The divine son of Zeus possessing the strength to wrestle a hydra or strangle the Nemean lion. This supernatural image is deeply ingrained in our history, immortalized on ancient Greek pottery that turned a mortal man into an untouchable icon. But the reality behind the myth reveals a mortal mercenary, a man who used clever public relations and storytelling to actively hide his true humanity from a world that wanted a god. His supernatural feats were carefully staged illusions, executed by a specialized team. His nephew, Iolaus, managed the storytelling, while veteran fighters like Tydeus, Atalanta, Amphiaraus, and Autolycus provided the actual battlefield lethality. They utilized an ancient form of psychological warfare, spreading exaggerated tales to break their enemies' resolve before the fighting even began. This reputation eventually led them to the kingdom of Thrace. King Codys and Princess Erginia sought protection from a warlord commanding an army of monsters. The mercenaries accepted the job for a purely financial reason. Codys offered staggering amounts of gold, enough to allow Hercules to walk away from his traumatic past, drop his weapons, and disappear forever into a quiet, peaceful life. The job was a logistical nightmare. The enemy was rumored to be an army of centaurs, while Codys' own defenders were little more than untrained farmers and merchants who had never seen a real battlefield. To succeed, a crew of men pretending to be legends had to formulate a strictly mortal plan, teaching civilians to fight with professional discipline to survive impossible odds. The mercenaries drilled the Thracians in the mechanics of the shield wall. Trusting the person beside them, they interlocked shields to create a single, unbroken line. Moving as a synchronized chain, disorganized farmers could resist the momentum of a much larger, chaotic force. When the monstrous centaurs finally arrived, the deception collapsed. They were simply horsemen using dust and fog to mask their human forms and terrify opponents. The Thracian farmers held their ground and repelled the charge, proving that disciplined coordination and human engineering can dismantle a superior force. The celebration was short-lived. Hercules soon realized King Codys was the real aggressor, using the mercenaries to crush a rebellion and consolidate power through murder and betrayal. Codys was part of a larger political conspiracy involving King Eurystheus of Athens, the man who had originally sent Hercules on his famous labors. King Eurystheus was the architect of the tragedy that defined Hercules' public reputation. While the world believed a fit of divine madness led Hercules to kill his own wife and children, the truth was far more calculated. Fearing Hercules' influence over the people, the king drugged him and sent 3 trained wolves to murder his family. Hercules woke up in the aftermath, convinced by the king's lies that he was the monster responsible for the blood on his hands. These rulers weaponized his trauma, knowing they couldn't buy him, so they broke his mind, turning a beloved hero into a compliant, self-loathing tool. Hercules was eventually captured and chained in the dungeon, facing execution while his team was held at sword point. As the guards prepared to strike, Amphiaraus challenged him to stop running from the past. He urged Hercules to finally look at himself and believe in his own inherent strength, rather than the stories others told about him. Fueled by a desperate need to save his allies, Hercules pushed his body to its absolute limit. He shattered the stone pillars anchoring him and overpowered the wolves that had haunted his nightmares for years. By accepting his trauma and choosing to fight for his friends, he accessed a level of human willpower that looked like the divine strength of the myths. In the aftermath, the people of Thrace successfully overthrew their oppressors. They left behind a legacy built on the mortal foundations of courage and shared sacrifice, rather than magical intervention. Yet, history chose to keep the god. We remember him through towering marble statues and tales of 12 labors, preferring the untouchable myth over the complicated man. This investigation suggests that heroism belongs to those who overcome severe trauma and stand with their allies, a quality forged through human character rather than a divine bloodline. The world never needed a magical demigod, it needed a symbol. This shows that anyone can forge themselves into a legend, simply by having the courage to believe in their own strength.